Good morning. Oh, now I'll say it. Good morning. Oh, dark 30 as always. Heading to work Saturday before it's going to be the last Saturday of 2023. Go figure. Looking to 2024. And, blessed. Truly blessed for in a chaotic world, sanity. A level thinking mind. When you look around and knowing that all can blow up, in front of your face, and there's not too much you can do about it, but you do with what is in your control. Where do I start? What did I want us to think about and say about? Talking about faiths and religions and cultures and ways of being raised and the way a mind works. And there's times I may make reference when I say man, but I mean, humanity as a whole, us as a whole. And so, not to be sexist or anything like that, when you're looking through the ages and you look at all the different faiths and different religions, they have a collective measure with the culture and with the people that they are with at that time period, and beyond, obviously, but for that time period. In each one, you can look and see similarities. You can see, that they had, in a grand scheme of things, they had similarities and whatnot. But one of the other things that I was thinking also is, as inspirational as some of them are, there is a reality and a truth as big as that timeline is. I'm going to be talking kind of abstract. It's not going to be as chaotic as a Pollock picture, but hey. They have their truths about them that distinguishes them apart from each other, and puts them in a framework, puts them in categories. Okay? So you got that. But they're just like that, just like the inspirational. You have also those downsides. What is inspirational to the mind and humanity is also subject to being inspirational on the darkest side of things, like a cult idea, or something like that. The idea of like the Spanish Inquisition and everything that's ever came about that whole thing with Christianity. Here you had the peaceful concept of being persecuted, and pretty soon there was a power struggle internally, mentally, spiritually, within the church itself, that were going, I'm not going to take this kind of crap anymore, and decided to take matters in their own hand for the sake of power. Okay? And it got even beyond that. It went from, finding heretics of the religion to hunting down the Moors and Jewish people, to convert them forcefully or kill them. Okay? It boggles the mind. Once you're in hindsight's 2020, but it boggles the mind, at least it does mine, to look back and see humanity at its best and humanity, or man, at their worst. And one of the things that I kind of gathered was this sense of belonging, this sense of club or group, has its downside. You can be in a collective mindset, say, patriotically for your country. Okay? That's one thing. That concept is it's kind of on a bigger, different scale, let's say. But when you have a collective that, because of time, because of whatever the situation is, of an influence or something like that no one kept in check, come in and infiltrate the concept and twist the concept. Keep in mind, and I bring up the idea of the Knights Templar and Spanish Inquisition and all that, because it just because it shows you had like-minded people totally sold out and for what would be the common good of thinking in God, religion, whatever. Atheists would be arguing, so they'd be more hypercritical about it. But you had a collective group sold out for that, and someone got greedy. Someone got power hungry. And little by little, they realized they had a group under them that they can manipulate. They realized it. They were doing it with the guise of telling and saying, we need to purify our organization because obviously there's a problem. Okay, but deep down, it was a purification that went awry. Okay, because it became less of a challenge, more as a mission statement. And at that point, you can toss your so-called faith out the door. And so you no longer are a group of collected-minded just for the empowerment of your soul and your body. You are a member of a society that someone's controlling, and you don't know unless you're in that hierarchy what kind of control measures they're taking place. Does this make sense? I know, I just said I was going to go big on this one. It's wrong. This is part why I, myself, personally, kind of have a hard time with a structured organization. Me being part of one. I don't have a problem with it in general. I'm saying with me in it, because I'm constantly seeing and scrutinizing that. I'm scrutinizing the hierarchy of it all, and looking for conflicts of interest, I'll say. I won't say constantly, but when I see a conflict of interest, I have a hard time keeping my mouth shut about it. I'll say it that way. And it throws me for a loop. I've learned finally to understand and register this in my head. We had this happen in our country. Come on, dude. Go past me. We had this happen in my country. And once again, I watched this unfold. And for some reason, and I'll say by the grace of God, I foresighted this and didn't like it myself. There was something bad to it. But I'll go one step further, that I challenged myself within myself as well during this whole time period, thinking under the verse saying that they will have eyes to see, ears to hear, that maybe I was missing it. And so I challenged, and it tore me apart watching what was going on. Still does. And I've asked of my God to keep me no matter where my sins fall on a daily basis, to at least keep my gaze clear to see these things. And if I'm on the mark, maybe I'm not the one seeing or hearing correctly. But it sure seemed to me that something was really, really wrong. Like, morbidly, deadly, very wrong. Darkly wrong. And a lot of people would be too oblivious to see it. And I'll just kind of stop it there. We're once again we are in our country, in our culture, in a cycle of that motion. Much like we can read back in history at different cultures in different countries that have that cycle. We're in the middle of it. Those that can see the forest through the trees, see it. Those that can't. And I can only pray for the grace to fall upon the nation and the minds and the eyes to understand and to take a step back. Everyone take a step back. So we don't destroy ourselves. As a country, as a culture, as humanity, that there still are bigger forces out there at work in human form, looking for that crack in the window to come in and rob us, looking for that door open so they can bust it wide open and do a home invasion on our country. And more bigger, if you believe in the spiritual, there is that which is just looking to rip apart and tear apart the souls of people. That dark side. The light will prevail, but we are in the motion. We are in the cycle to watch it. And so, this is where my mind is, and this is where my prayer is. Otherwise than that, I'll round it back up and say happy 2024 as we go into it. And I have nothing but love. And be safe, everyone.